It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, today in that intersection between the digital and physical world, I have none other than Peter Taylor. And Peter Taylor is the Director of Strategic Initiatives at my friends over at ClearTouch. And y'all know I use the ClearTouch Interactive panel for the end of the day with Ray. So first, Peter, I want to say thanks. Thanks for the equipment. It's been awesome. You know, I'm not the best at it, but I'm learning every day. But how are you doing, Peter?
I'm doing very well, thanks, Ray. Yeah, very well.
Well, I got to tell you, interactive boards are definitely the future, and we're seeing a whole lot of excitement around what you guys are doing in the BTA channel and even some other verticals. So there's a whole lot of interaction going on and collaborating in a whole different way. How are things going? How are things going out there?
Well, I tell you, it's been a wild ride. Our company is about 7 years old, Ray, and we actually achieved over $50 million in our 6 year of business. So
wow.
It's been a very meteoric rise for us. So it's very good. So
what you're telling me is you started from nothing, and 7 years later you're generating $50 billion in revenue. That's fantastic. What's the vertical that's doing the most business for you? I mean, where are you getting most of it?
We started off, Ray, with the K-12 area. So that was on the wave as it started to interactive panels started to take over from interactive whiteboards. There's definite reasons behind that, which I can explain. But the wave is kind of in the US, it started to really increase in size. There is a lot of momentum in that marketplace. And we're following some of the countries in Europe that had an early adoption. And now we're having that meteoric, as they say, rise here in the US. And we've been very fortunate to capture that one, to the point where now ClearTouch is actually the largest US owned and operated manufacturer of interactive white panels.
Well, I got to tell you, there's other players in the space, and if you look inside the imaging channel, the thing that I think is very unique about ClearTouch, and probably one of their greatest advantages, is that this is what you do. It's your core deliverable. You're trying to help dealers diversify into something to give them new revenue sources. And by the way, my friends, there's service revenue on these too, so it's not just a one-time thing. And, I think it's exciting that you can help a dealer, regardless of really what channel they're in, kind of diversify their deliverable and add some extra revenue. And we all know in the imaging channel that we're moving documents, from physical paper to glass. It's been going on for a long time now. And collaboration is also moving from passing out, analog paper to digital collaboration tools such as the interactive board. And I got to tell you, even on the end of the day with Ray, I really love to be able to use this thing. I can't wait till I can use it a little bit more. But what are you doing right now inside the BTA channel, and how's the momentum going? Because I think that's pretty new to you. You've been entered that space about a year ago. Is that right?
A little bit longer than that, Ray. So we did actually, just locally to where I live, just outside of Atlanta, I tried to experiment with one of the BPA partners, and there was the partners within the dealership were very kind of reticent in one way. Two voted yes, two voted no to take on interactive panels, more as a door opener than anything else at that time. Okay. So they wanted some product that they could use their inside telemarketing folks to try and engage with the customer. And since interactive panels were kind of catch me out at the time in technology, they utilized it even today, the panels to get a conversation with the customer. And so they started off as kind of like, let's see how it goes. And that's main part of their business. It's been very good for them. It's been therefore very good for us. And after about a year, we decided that this is probably a channel we needed to look into.
Awesome.
And so we've addressed it. We've assigned resources to go specifically after the BPA channel and go and open up resellers across the U.S. and Canada.
Well, that's awesome, and I got to tell you, it'd be nice to look back at those original dealers and, just kind of ask them, hey, how much hardware have you moved along with the interactive panel? Does it, especially with education, we're running around trying to, get schools to buy a whole bunch of MFPs that we're overspeccing and overselling. We could probably go in there with a really complex deliverable around interactive boards, around a whole solution to manage documents both on glass and on paper. And I think there's some great opportunities there for our dealer friends, but it's exciting stuff, man.
I think they not only did it open the doors, it's given them a revenue, it's given them more of a complete sell, it's kept their engagement with the customer going, and it's something right in the ballpark. If you look at the similarities between selling interactive panels and selling MFPs, it's a very similar kind of sale. The one thing that we really did with our customers is most of our customers were purchasing the product.
Okay.
With the BPA channel, because the leasing and the creative ways that that channel was getting into some of these private educational institutions, into corporate environments, really helped add value to those sales and attracted customers that we didn't normally attract. So it's been very good, as I say. I can show you some shared numbers, actually, of the kind of growth rate we're expecting, Ray, in this marketplace going forward, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, because I think, obviously, if I'm going to take on a product, what's the growth opportunity? That's always good stuff. So can you pull that up and show me that?
I can, but let me just talk to it, if I may.
Sure. Okay.
I've got some slides here, but basically, these are from independent. This is not our numbers. This is independent numbers. But depending on the market areas, but for the next 4 years, if you look at the compound annual growth rate of the interactive flat panels in education, it's 17.9%.
Wow.
It's huge.
Okay, that's pretty big.
And in corporate, it's 14.8%. So currently, into the U.S., sold last year about 200,000 interactive flat panels.
Okay.
And so if you take that number and you multiply it by that growth factor, you're starting to see how big the market can be. And it's just a growth market right now.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that those numbers were calculated before they realized how really good the BTA channel salespeople are. And eventually those numbers are going to start rising. Because let's face it, there's been a whole lot of interactive panels that have been sold in the marketplace without the vehicle of the BTA channel. I mean, let's face it, it's kind of new to the industry. There's been a couple players that have tried to get into the space, but they always revert back to the MFP as more important than the interactive panel. You guys, it's about the interactive panel. It's about helping a dealer get to the next level to diversify his deliverable. And I got to say before we end this, you also have a really unique support system for the dealers and the customers where they can remote in and they can get access to the panel. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, Cameron. So we try to do the heavy lifting for a lot of our partners so that the cost of actually selling the product is mitigated. And one of the things we did is we opened up some broadcast studios. These are multi-camera studios where we have 22 appointments a day, 5 days a week, where customers, our resellers can make an appointment very easily online, click and you get a Zoom call set up, and boom, you're having a live person addressing a customer's specific needs. So we can show Zoom rooms, we can show a classroom setting, we can do these things that at a high degree of quality. Our presenters, we call them our weathermen. They're very good in front of the camera, unlike me. However, they do a great job in demonstrating our technology, our capabilities, and how it fits into that customer environment. Well,
I can't wait to come down to South Carolina, Greenville, where you guys are headquartered, to check out these studios, maybe play around with them a little bit. But I got to tell you, it's been interesting using the board. I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me and making it available. And I think it's made the end of the day with Ray a little bit better. So you know what, Peter? Until next time, I'm going to end this like I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and you all have a great day. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Thank you, Ray. Take care. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, my friends.